Hello, viewers. You're once more welcome to yet another edition of your favorite show, Shantia's Haven. Have you ever been hurt before by a close one, a friend, a family member, a neighbor, someone you held really dear to your heart before? A couple of people have been hurt before. The part is not just about being hurt. One, it's about who hurt you. Then about what you do about that hurt. What you do with that aspect of being hurt. Today on Shantia's Haven, we're going to be touching a very important topic. This topic is so important to my heart because it defines a lot of things that happen in the world nowadays. This topic is forgiveness. I would like us to talk about forgiveness from a family point of view. According to Robin Sharma, he says forgiveness is not forgetting what happened to you, but it is about rising above the effects of that thing that happened to you. It's sometimes you say easier said than done. It sounds easy and simple. But today on Shantia's Haven, we have someone who went through hurts. When we say hurt, it's not that one hurt at a certain stage of her life. It hurts progressively, that went on and on. But later on, we're going to discover whether this person could manage to forgive or she still holds on to that hurt. We'll be right back. Benezet Anyangomo, you're welcome to Shantia's Haven.
Thank you very much.
We are grateful to have you here on our platform today to talk about your life story. Few people would accept to come in public and talk about their life story like you're doing today. So it's a thumbs up to you to want to share what you went through as a little girl, as a child. Because here on Shantia's Haven, it's one family. We're changing one family at a time for a better society. So, Benezet, you have been hurt before, from what you tell me, and you went through this hurt as a little child. Can you just enlighten us a little bit of how it was? What was this hurt? What happened?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Actually, it wasn't easy with me since when I was 3 years old.
3 years
I
old?
was still 3 years old.
Okay.
I think the problem first of all sprang from the fact that my parents had their own differences. Even though I have more stories regarding from when I was born and some kind of superstitions and things like that. But I started noticing when I was 3 years old. And you can imagine if I can put it in my mind since I was 3, it was really hurtful. My father and my mom had their issues, and it came a time, the first time I noticed was when my mom decided to leave the house. And I was 3 years. I had a younger sister of 1 year, and she was, I think, 3 months pregnant. I didn't even know, but I know that it was later I knew she was pregnant, and she wanted to leave. So I knew that obviously I was supposed to go with her because I was still a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But while she was packing her things to leave, I was picking my own dresses and putting inside. But I realized that she removed it with so much anger and was throwing it away. Whenever I put my dress inside her bag, she would fling it out.
Okay, so you mean at 3 years old,
Yes.
your mother decided to leave the house.
Yes.
And when she was about leaving, her 3-year-old daughter, Benezet,
Yes.
was trying to put her things into mommy's bag, knowing
Yes.
that mommy would take me along with her.
Yes.
But your mother, in much anger,
Was
kept taking your
removing
things
them.
out and throwing outside.
Yes.
Wow, that must be
But
very...
the other one who was 1 year old was putting also her things.
Yes.
And she didn't throw hers away.
Okay.
But mine, she was throwing them away with so much anger.
Okay.
And then insisting to take my elder brother, who was her only son as of then.
Okay.
So it really made me to feel like
I
I
can
wasn't
imagine.
important.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
it's
they preferred your older brother,
To
your younger
me.
sister,
yes,
to you.
yes. And that really, it was a traumatizing incident to me. I felt really bad. Like I wasn't wanted. Like I don't even know what happened. Why am I? In fact, it really gave me a lot of pains. That's the truth. It gave me a lot of pains.
Okay.
So After that, she left, and actually, my father refused her from taking my elder brother. So she went with the 1 year old, and then I was the smallest that was left behind. And after some time, she sent some dresses. It was around 3 years later because she actually left. She sent some dresses, but I realized the man wasn't there because I had an elder sister too with that elder brother than me. She sent some dresses. I realized that mine wasn't among. And I can't lie to you, I had a stepmother in the house, though, and what I was going through with my stepmother, it was the kind of thing that I would have really desired that my mother, even though she was away, she could really care a little. So that I could equally just say that, well, if you care, you don't take care of me. I know my mother still loves me, but it wasn't that way. So the only person I had was my dad, who was hardly around. And sometimes my mom will claim that she did that. She hates me because I love my dad. She used to claim that my father loves me and I love my father so much, and because of that, she used to treat me that way. But honestly, the fact that she left me behind at that age made me to go through a lot from my stepmother. Is that I've grown up, I used to have horns on my head because they used to hit my head a lot, all the time. Those swellings stayed there, and my father was never around. So if he was always there, I could say, okay, I could find solace in him. But he was always busy, going everywhere and coming. And so I had much of the time to spend with my stepmother, who unfortunately didn't like me too. So it gave me a lot of pains. When I was in Form 1, around the age of 12, I escaped from the house, and
It's okay, it's okay. Dear parents, dear guardian, dear parents, this is to let us know that some of the struggles we go through, we should try a little bit not to be too self-centered. You may be going through pain, even in your marital home. It's very okay, it's very true, it's correct to go through some of those pain. It is very, you may be right about what is happening. You may be right about leaving even your spouse, or you may be right about, you may see all the reasons why you want to leave, why you want to go away. But then when you're going away and you're leaving a 3-year-old girl and you're making her know that she should have preferred another mother, and she is left with a stepmother who hates her equally. She would hate God. She would think that God just brought her to this earth to suffer her. And it's hurtful, it's very painful what some parents let their children go through. I'm happy Benezet could come out today to talk about some of this pain. There are so many children going through these issues, especially with parents who are separating. We should be careful with the kind of scars we are leaving on our children today. That's the topic for another day.
so by 12 years old, I went to school somewhere else, and I heard of where my mother was because I used to hear of the but since I was still very small, I didn't know. I still thought my mother would still be better than a stepmother, no matter what. So when I left the third term holidays, I just went directly to where my mother was. And I had beautiful plans in my head. I had the way I was planning to get along with my mother. I was like, I was going to sit on her legs again. I was fantasizing on some things that I desired. But when I just got there, my elder sister was the one who took me there. When I got, she didn't even come to even hug me. She just asked my elder sister, why did you not bring them my son?
Oh
I
my
was
God.
standing there, and
She asked that question?
yeah,
Like seriously?
yeah, she did ask that question.
If that question is coming from a man, sometimes they say only a mother knows the true father of the child. But when a mother asks a daughter that question, I begin to wonder where this world is going to. I begin to wonder where our world is going to. Lord have mercy.
So when she asked that question to my elder sister, why did you not bring me my son? I felt like the whole world collapsed over me. I have nowhere to go. I was still standing outside at the door. It was just I was standing expecting her to come jumping and carrying me up. But she asked that question, I was still there, my bag was in my hand. I felt like I didn't know what to do. I really was frustrated. And all she cared about was how to give problems to my dad and all of that. In my life, while I was working with my father, since my father was a school headmaster, I never worked in a farm because children were always there working. But I decided to work in the farm to think that my mother was going to love me because she will see that I love her, I want to help her, and all of that. I even joined some of these groups of young girls that go to their mothers' farms
To help
to
out.
help out. For the first time in my life, I worked seriously. We were 9 of us in that group. I didn't go up to 7. I felt seriously sick.
So you were doing this to earn your mother's love.
Yes, I wanted her to love me. I wanted her to see that I equally did love her.
You know what I want to do now? I just want to hug you first before we continue with this emission. It's bad. It's bad what a mother would make her child go through. Please, parents, please, guardians, whatsoever it is that you're going through in your home, don't let the children suffer this much from it. It's true, it's inevitable. The children will have their share of the suffering, but you can do something to help out. This girl just needed some love from her own mother, and she had to go working in farms to earn a mother's love. Where is our world turning to? We'll be right back. Somehow I've always known that parenting is tough. But from your story, Benezet, it looks like being a child is tougher. But there's something T.D. Jakes said. He said, forgiveness is a gift to your own self. And forgiveness is not forgetting about the past, but you want to go above that past because that past will not change. What happened has already happened. I see you're a very happy person today. You're a mother, you're a wife. You're always smiling. You could hardly tell if you ever went through anything.
Yeah.
You looked like these children from, like we call it in our days, Ajebota children, who were pampered and spoiled by their parents. I want to find out, we would like to know how you managed, if you have forgiven, and how you managed to forgive these people who hurt you so bad.
The truth is, I want to thank God. Honestly, I want to thank God because I came to know God. I came to know Christ.
Okay.
And I came to realize that the center of peace is forgiveness.
The center of peace is forgiveness.
Yes. Because it's true, I knew God even though I was little, around 9 years old. I was growing, but I never got the understanding of forgiveness. I was always very angry. I was always even my friends were not comfortable around me because I could get angry so fast.
That's normal. Who would not be in your shoes? I would be
Yeah.
more angry.
So I came to realize that there was a message a man of God preached and said that you forgiving is for yourself. It's not even for the people you're forgiving.
Okay.
If you are forgiving somebody, it's not because of the person, it's for your own good. Because sometimes the person does not even feel what you feel. I was doing all of these things actually to my mom. I don't even understand if she knew that I was feeling this way.
Okay.
So I realized that it would be needless me keep crying every day, keeping this grudge because it was really affecting me. Whatever somebody does, I just say, well, it means I cannot be loved. If my own mother could hate me, could love me, could hate me this much, who is this person to love me? I don't have any right to demand something from the person. So I kept feeling that way. But I realized that I was supposed to come out of that for my own good. Yes. So I decided to let go. I decided to forgive her. And what's funny enough is that each time she had a problem, from when I forgave her, she realized I was the only one who was always by her, of all of her children. I was the only person who was making sure that she was okay. And I started finding a lot of peace in me.
Okay, so it's not just that you forgive someone.
Yes.
The forgiveness, actions follow the
Yes.
forgiveness.
The truth is, like we say, it is difficult. It's
Yes.
not easy at all.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But if you truly forgive somebody, you should be able to let that space be filled back with love.
Okay.
To show that person what the person wasn't able to show you.
Okay.
And that is what I did with her. I tried to show her that love. Whether she was, it's not like she was accepting it. She was still trying to make me know that I wasn't okay. But I never cared anymore. It's like I became used to it. And it was okay by me, however she treats me. But I had my own responsibility as a daughter to treat her well.
Okay.
So from that time, when I started treating her well, I never even saw what she was doing wrong again. Yes,
Wow. So did she change?
she didn't.
She did not change.
She didn't.
So
Even till
it's no guarantee that when you forgive someone and you start treating the person right, the person will change. There's no guarantee
there's
in
no
that.
guarantee.
So that is, I see why they say forgiveness is for yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because she's of late quite unfortunate. But even before she died, she still didn't want to talk to me. She was really angry with me. I was the one sending the money that was taking her to the hospital and everything. Yet, she did not even know, because she knew she would have refused to go to the hospital if she knew the money was coming.
Did you
from me.
ever ask why this level of hatred?
I did my best to ask her. And she started by saying, "You first, you've never been a ballot picking." You know, she started by saying that. And later, she was like, "I've always loved my dad." You know, she considered that the fact that I love my father, I didn't love her.
Okay, thank you. That brings me to something like what you just said there, that you first, you don't always be in a bad luck picking.
Yes.
It takes me back to a neighbor we had once when I was still in school, where this lady would always look at her first son and say, "Now you put me for this trouble. I hate you because now you put me for this trouble." That's the first son, and the trouble to her is marriage. So because she was pregnant for that man, she had to move in with the man. And maybe she wasn't treated well in that marriage, and so she hated the son for that. But dear parents and guardians, I don't know, these children did not write any application to come on earth. I don't remember when a child would write an application that, "Please, mommy, daddy, can I come to your home? Can I come on earth?" We looked for them, and now they have come. I don't think our anger, I don't think our grudges should be transferred over to them. Let us instead look for the right place and send those things to. Like she said she met God, and some pastor man talked and helped her out. Good for her, she found solution in that, and she's a happy person today, because when I see the way she shows love to people around, nothing would tell me that she went through this kind of story before, that this is her life. So I see the evidence of this forgiveness on your daily activities with other people. So unforgiveness can actually be crossed, because I imagine if you had this grudge and you have your daughter and your husband today, that man would have suffered in your home.
Really, he would have. Because it used to be like, whatever thing you do to me, I ascribe it to what I've been going through.
Okay.
It was like you are just trying to join the others to do what they know how to do to me best. You know. So I really needed to come out of that. If I didn't come out of that, I'm telling you, I'm not even sure I would have even brought myself to marry. And if I married in that state, actually it would have been a disaster.
A time bomb to someone's house.
It would have truly been a disaster.
Okay, from all what you're saying, when we look or when we listen to Benezet, we realize that this road of forgiveness, this road to forgiveness, wasn't a joint effort completely. It was mostly a personal effort. So we come to know that forgiveness starts from you. You decide, you become intentional about forgiving others, those who have hurt you, because forgiveness is a gift you can give yourself. I don't know what you're going through out there as a parent, as a guardian, even as a child if you're watching. I don't know what you're going through out there. You can tell yourself, this season I want to give myself a gift. And that gift is forgiveness. I'll forgive all those who have hurt me in the past. I'll forgive all those who think I was going to amount to nothing. I'll forgive all those who treated me really poorly when I was growing up, or who are treating me now bad because I am not up to their standards. I forgive them, sincerely forgive them, and move on with your life and live a life that even you are at peace with your own self. And I think that If we do that, and parents, if we handle that right, especially the aspect of forgiveness with our children, we are going to gain our children and we are going to help our families, because on Shantia's Haven, it is about one family at a time to build a healthy society. Thank you so much.